Before we get into this section of the video, don't forget that this video series is made in collaboration with our travel channel, Travel With Me Starkiller, for lots of visits to hotels, reviewing what they have to offer, as well as some hospitality experiences at the football clubs as well. So if that's something that you're interested in, definitely go and check them out. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, and of course leave a comment down below if you've got any suggestions or tips which might help other people out. So let's get into it. So this is our part 6 of our ultimate guide to UK holidays in Florida, and this one is a big one when we're going over all the extra stuff which you might not think about when booking your trip. That'll be stuff like the time of year, how that can affect the total cost of your trip, parking at the airport before your flight, and of course staying the night before if you need to, the packages which are available at the airports for your flights, such as parking hotel packages, lounge packages, security, all that sort of good stuff. Extra activities, non-theme park related, in case you don't want to go to the parks, such as, for example, iDrive, NASA, which is the big one, and Gatorland. We'll go over parking, as I know that can be a big cost which can trip people up in terms of each individual park and how much their parking costs, as it can vary quite a bit. Food, which of course can be surprising how much that costs when you go abroad, especially in Florida. So we'll go over that, different options in and out the parks as well. Insurance, and what the best places are to do that and cover yourself. ESTAs, which is essentially if you don't have one you ain't getting in. So we'll go over that quickly as well. And clothing accessories, which I would strongly recommend you have or use when on your holiday. So any prices discussed in this, unless it's something from Amazon of course, will be for summer. Of course prices can vary depending on if it's in and out of summer or if it's Christmas. That's just so you know it's all about summer. So to start off, we'll be looking at the time of year. Now of course when you choose to travel will vastly affect the cost of your holiday, from everything from your car hire to your parking, to your tickets, to your hotel, to everything will be affected by when you choose to go. For us in the UK, there'll be 5 main travel times, which we will then use to compare to a holiday in summer. Summer being one of those, of course. We'll be using Virgin and British Airways for these comparisons, and there'll be 7 or 14 nights depending on the holiday or time of year that it is. This will be for a family of 4 with a teenager and a 7-year-old. And each package will include flights, accommodation, Disney Universal tickets and car hire. And for each one, the cheapest option was chosen each time. So to get a baseline for the summer holidays, the travel dates that we've used are the 21st of August till the 4th of September. The busiest day individually during the summer is Independence Day, which is the 4th of July, but also weekends are extremely busy on Friday because obviously most of the Americans are off as well. The details for this package were flights to Tampa from Heathrow. You're staying at the Avanti Hotel, and this is 14-day Universal Disney tickets of course, and the car hire was a mid SUV, which will be the same for all of these. The British Airways package was flights to Orlando from Gatwick, staying at the Baymont by Wyndham Hotel. We have a large SUV with 14-day Disney Universal tickets. The cost for Virgin was £6,794.57, with British Airways coming in at £8,739.57. So we should begin with the first half term of the year, which is February. The dates we have chosen are the 13th of February till the 21st of February, which covers most school holidays. Of course, some can vary by a week. The busiest day during this period is President's Day, where everyone is off. So it will be extremely busy on the 15th. Our holiday package was flights to Tampa, which are indirect in this case from Heathrow via New York. You'll be staying at Cocoa Keys Resort with a mid-sized SUV with 7-day Disney and Universal tickets. With British Airways, the flights to Orlando will be direct from Gatwick, staying again at Cocoa Keys for 7-day Universal and Disney with a large SUV. So for this time period, if you were to fly with Virgin, it would cost you £6,957.48, which is £162.91 more than if you were to travel in summer. With British Airways, it would cost £8,606.80, which is £132.77 less than if you flew in summer. Moving on to May half term, and the dates we have are the 29th of May to the 6th of June. The busiest day for this period is Memorial Day weekend, which is the 31st of May. The package details for Virgin are flights to Tampa from Heathrow direct, staying at the Holiday Inn Resort Buena Vista with a mid-SUV and 7-day Universal Disney. The British Airways package is flights to Orlando from Gatwick, staying at the Rosin Inn at Point. A large SUV, 7-day Universal Disney tickets. For Virgin, it will cost you £7,137 and 2p, which is £342.45 more than summer. For British Airways, it will be £12,388.36, which is £3,649.29 more than if you went in summer. Yeah. So, for October half term, which ranges from the 24th of the 10th, the dates were chosen, to the 1st of November, which of course the busiest day being Halloween. The packages with Virgin, it's flights to Tampa from Heathrow direct, staying at the Holiday Inn Resort Buena Vista with a mid-SUV and 7-day Universal Disney tickets. British Airways, it was flights to Orlando from Gatwick, staying at the Radisson Hotel Orlando Lake Buena Vista. A large SUV and 7-day Universal Disney. For Virgin, it would cost you £7,519.69 giggity, which is £725 12p more than if you went in summer. For British Airways, it was £11,468.57, which was £2,729 more than if you went in summer. Now this is the big one, I'm sure one of the key dates that a lot of people are looking at, which is Christmas. So we've chosen the 19th of December until the 2nd of January. The busiest time, and is the single busiest week of the entire year, is Christmas week, of course 25th, and New Year's Day and Eve, depending on where you go. The holiday details for Virgin is flights to Tampa. The flight out is direct, the flight back is indirect via New York. Staying at the Avanti Resort 14-day Universal Disney and a mid-SUV. The British Airways was flights to Orlando from Gatwick, staying at the Radisson Hotel Orlando Lake Buena Vista, with a large SUV and 14-day tickets. With Virgin, it cost you £10,241.29, which is £3,446.72 more than if you travelled during summer. And for British Airways, it would cost you £10,776.67, which of course is £2,037 and a penny more than if you were to travel in summer. So overall, if you look at each time of year individually, the most expensive time of year to go, of course, is Christmas. And with the outlier being May half term with British Airways, for some reason being nearly £4,000 more than if you went in summer. So overall, as we suspected, the best time of year, of course, to go is in summer, mainly because it's so hot. Then followed by October, and then it will be February, and then May, and of course Christmas being the most expensive. So next up, let's look at airport hotels. Now of course this completely depends on the flight time and the distance that you live from the airport. Of course if you live really close then you don't necessarily need to stay, but if you live far further away, more than an hour, you probably need to stay over just to be safe. Especially if you're using a London airport, as going around the M25 is no joke. So, the prices will depend on locality and convenience for most of these, so the closer you are to the airport, the more expensive it gets. And prices, once again, are for a family of 4 with a teenager and a 7-year-old in summer. So let's start off with Manchester Airport. All of these are near Terminal 2 and are just for the hotel. Packages we'll cover in another section of the video. So the first option is the Radisson Blu Hotel. This is located surprisingly at Terminal 2. It has a 4-star rating with a 4.2 out of 5 on TripAdvisor. There is a parking fee of £25 per night. If you're parking in the main parking garage already, that of course does not apply because you've already paid for your parking and you're walking to the hotel. The rooms available are standard, superior, premium, executive, 1-bedroom suites and family rooms. Their amenities are 2 on-site restaurants, 1 a la carte and a bar. Luggage storage, free tea and coffee, swimming pool, fitness centre, free Wi-Fi and conference facilities. The distance to the terminal, this is the only one which is directly connected to the terminal via a walkway, which is either a 10-minute walk, or if you do want to move your cars, there is parking at the hotel, but I mean you might as well park in the garage and then walk over. It's about a 10-minute walk from the hotel to the terminal. And for the cost, well, the only option at this hotel is for a family room, which sleeps 4 people. And this will be £263 for your night. And if you would like breakfast for everyone, it's an additional £31. Another option is the Holiday Inn Manchester, which is located next to Terminal 2 multi-storey. It is rated 4 out of 5 stars with a TripAdvisor score of 4.4 out of 5. It has, again, a standard parking fee of £25 per day. But if you park in one of the garages I've just said, you can stay in there and then walk. They have premium, standard and suites available. The amenities are kids eat and stay for free with an adult booking. They have a fitness centre. It is pet friendly if you have a dog for some reason. And 2 on-site restaurants or Wi-Fi. Or, of course, if you bring your wife. Hey. That's a joke. I'll put that out there. Distance to terminal is a 15-minute walk or 3-minute drive. So it's pretty close. And your costs for a standard room are £139. A premium is £166. And a king suite is £386 if you want a bigger space. A last option for Manchester that we are looking at is the Dakota Hotel. This one is a little bit further away. It's located on Enterprise Way, which is across the motorway from the airport. It is a rating of 5 stars and is rated 5 out of 5 on TripAdvisor. That is really rare. So this one is pretty good. It does have a £20 on-site parking fee, which is not optional. So you're going to have to pay this if you stay here with a car, unless of course you get a taxi. They have Classic Room, Classic King, Garden King, Junior Suites, Signature Suites, and Family Kings. The amenities are valet parking is available, high-speed internet, 1 on-site restaurant, and a free transport to the airport should you use a stay and park option, which we'll go on to say a little later. Distance to terminal is about a 15-minute drive to Terminal 2 parking, or of course the same 15 to 20 minutes for a bus transfer. And the only option for a family of 4 here is their Signature Suite, which is £413, and it does include breakfast. Let's move on to Gatwick. We'll be looking at hotels at both terminals, because of course the North Terminal uses TUI and the South Terminal is BA and Norse, of course if you've watched all the videos. So at the North you have the Sofitel, which is located directly at the terminal, has a rating of 4 out of 5 and there's a TripAdvisor score of 4.4 out of 5. It's a parking fee of £38 a night, so park in the garage and walk if you can. Save that bit extra. It has Classic, Superior, Luxury, Family and Prestige suites. It has a fitness centre for amenities, fitness centre, free Wi-Fi, free restaurants, conference centres and a selection of lounges. It is a 5-minute walk to the North Terminal. If you're going to the South Terminal, I don't know why you're staying at this hotel, but in case you are, you'd have to get a bus or a taxi. So the cost of the rooms, for your classic room, it would be £241.66. For a family room, it would be £245.10. The Superior will run you £263.26 to £290.26, depending on what view you want, if you want one of the car park or the runway. For the luxury room, it will be £344.26 to £438.76, again depending on if you want to view the car park or the runway. And for the prestige suite, it will be £454.96. Next up we have the Premier Inn at North Terminal, which is located at the terminal. It has a rating of 3 out of 5 stars and a TripAdvisor score of 4.4 out of 5. It has a £25 parking fee if you use short stay 5 or 6. The rooms available are standard, double, Premier Plus double, standard twin and family rooms. Basically, you said at Premier Inn, you know what Premier Inn is. Cheap and very good, most of the time. The amenities are air conditioning in every room, 1 on-site restaurant, which is probably a beefeater until they go bust. Free Wi-Fi, interconnecting rooms and a on-site Costa, if you're that way inclined. Distance to the terminal is a 5-minute walk to North Terminal. Again, if you're going to South Terminal, I'm not sure why you're staying in this hotel, but you can, bus or taxi. And the cost of a room, which the only one will fit us, is a standard room, which has got 2 beds, is £92, so a nice cheaper option. And if you're staying at the South Terminal, our first one is the Hilton London Gatwick, which is just behind P2 parking. It has a rating of 4.4 out of 5 stars and a TripAdvisor score of 3.7 out of 5. It has a parking fee of £25 per day. So if you park in one of the garages and then walk, then obviously it saves you that money. It has double rooms, King Deluxe, double doubles, King Executive, 1 double and 2 singles, a king and 2 queens, a king suite and a twin and queen. So your amenities are an on-site restaurant, room service, fitness centre, multiple lounges, conference centre facilities, free Wi-Fi, connecting rooms if you want to have that facility, and a digital key is available so you can use an app to get in your room. The distance terminal is a 5-minute walk, and the room options for our family of 4 are a double and 2 singles, so double bed and then 2 singles, in case you can't work that out, £261, and another option is a king and 2 queens, 2 bedrooms, for £299. So not bad if you want a bit more space, £299. And the final option that we're looking at Gatwick is Courtyard by Marriott, which is located next to the long stay car park. Its rating is 4 out of 5 stars with a TripAdvisor score of 3.7 out of 5. Its daily parking fee is 25 quid. Its rooms available are standard, Premier, King, Family and Junior suites. Its amenities include an on-site restaurant, business centre, fitness centre, free Wi-Fi, a mobile key, same as the one on an app, and cleaning services should you wish to partake. The distance terminal is about a 10-minute drive to the terminal parking areas. And for the rooms available, family room is £201, but if you want to include breakfast, it'll be £268. And finally finishing off with Heathrow. So for the Virgin flights, they will operate from Terminal 3, while British Airways, they use Terminal 5, so we go with 2 terminals. If you're flying with Virgin, your first option is the Aerotel, which is next to Heathrow Meet and Greet parking. It has a rating of 3 out of 5 stars and TripAdvisor score 3.8 out of 5. It has a parking fee of £98 a day. Whoa. Yeah, book parking and walk to this one. Do not park at the hotel. It offers solo, double plus and family rooms. Its amenities include grab and go food options, as there is no on-site restaurant at this hotel. Multiple lounges, your choice of pillow, I'm getting fancy here, and a library. In case you didn't work this out already, this is one of those really small hotels. It's inside the terminal building, less than a 5-minute walk to your gates. The only room available for us, this one is a family room, which will run you at £306. It's essentially a micro hotel. And the Renaissance, which is just north of the terminals, just off of the M4. It has a rating of 3 star out of 5, and it gets a 4.6 out of 5 on TripAdvisor. It has a parking fee of 15 quid per night. It has a standard, superior, executive and runway view suites. It has 4 on-site restaurants, a gift shop, a on-site bar, fitness centre and business centre. Your distance to terminal is a 10 to 15 minute drive, or if you're booking a park and stay package, which is available at this hotel, which we'll go over detail later, you can get a bus transfer directly outside the hotel to the terminal, again taking about 15-20 minutes. So this booking will require 2 rooms, as there is no 2-bed rooms at this hotel. So for 2 standard rooms, it will cost you £194, £97 per room. For the superiors, it will cost you £234 or £117 per room. Or if you want a runway suite, it will cost you 450 quid or £225 per room. So if you're flying British Airways, your options are Sofitel London, which is right next to the Terminal 5, and has a rating of a 5 star out of 5, and has a TripAdvisor score of 4.6 out of 5, again very good. Its parking fee is 60 quid, so you park somewhere else and walk if you can. Its room options are classic, superior, luxury, club room, family, junior suite, prestige suite, opera suite and imperial suite. There's a lot of options at this one. Its amenities includes multiple on-site restaurants, a fitness centre, spa, conference centre and free Wi-Fi. It is a 5-minute walk to the terminal, as it's literally right next to it. And your cost for this one, a family room will cost you £371.45. A prestige suite is £427.50. An opera suite is £902.50. Or if you want to go really nuts, you can get an imperial suite for £1,852.50. And they all include breakfast. Well, I don't know that probably price. That's for one night, by the way. 1,850 quid. Wow. Money to burn. And your other option is a Premier Room, which is located just north of the airport off the A4. Its rating is 3 star out of 5. With TripAdvisor score 4.5 out of 5. It has a daily parking fee of 15 quid. You'll have to pay that because you can't walk to the terminal from this one. It has standard, Premier Plus and family rooms available. Its amenities include rooms with a view of the airport, aircon in every room, free breakfast, on-site restaurant and free Wi-Fi. Its distance hotel is about a 15-minute drive from Terminal 5. And your only option is for a standard room, which will cost you 80 quid. So let's have a look over airport packages and extra items, such as like lounge, fast track, parking hotel combinations and that sort of thing as well. So getting yourself as a package is a great way to save some money on your pre-holiday extras to make sure you get the best deal. And as I said, this includes items such as airport parking, hotels, combinations of the two, fast track security and lounges. So let's start off by looking at some parking and hotel deals. So let's begin by looking at some packages available for Manchester. So this is what we have been referring to and we'll be using for this section, which is holidayextras.com. So let's start off by going to Manchester. So you want to go to the airport, hotel and parking area. Of course they do a huge variety of different options as well. So click on that and then we'll select Manchester. And for us in this occasion we'll go 2 adults, 2 children for hotel and parking. You will then want to first select your hotel check-in date, which for us will be the 20th as we are looking to fly on the 21st of August. Our flight on the Friday, so you want to type in your desired flight. And for us, for example, we'll go with the Virgin flight at 9:15. And of course it flies on the 21st and we will be returning on the 4th. Returning to collect your car will actually be the 5th because the flights will be overnight. So our flight back will be one of these. Of course, you choose whichever one suits you. We'll go for this one. And automatic selection return time. You do get usually a 3-hour window after this to collect your car, for example, in case of delays. We'll obviously double check that. We don't want an email for this. And you can double check your options. So for this one, Manchester, family of 4, checking on Thursday, collect the car on Saturday. And let's see what we've got available. Load. And here you go. So this is your options here. So of course there is a huge variety of different options. So you can see what the website recommends. You can obviously look at the cheapest, which will be your Premier Inns. Note one with Premier Inns are banging. You can then sort by distance. So if you want it literally at the hotel, then it will show you those first. And if you want the high rated, then of course you can look for that as well. So for options, we're looking at cheapest. Again, this will be Premier Inn, starting at 178 quid. Depending, of course, on how close you want to the airport, the price will vary. So if we look, for example, at let's look at the Premier Inn West at Dithersby as an example for this one. So what this offers is 1 double bed, 1 single sofa bed, and a pull-out bed. We're going to show available packages. So standard room with parking. Of course, you can upgrade this depending on if you want parking at the airport, if you don't mind parking at the hotel, for example, depending on which options are available. So if we go to the APH parking ride, we click on info and it brings up everything that you'll need to know. This is staying at the Premier Inn. Getting to the airport for this one, we park overnight at the hotel, then drive to the APH parking ride. About 10 minutes away, drop your keys off and then take a transfer to the airport. And for this one, overnight parking is included in your stay, which is always nice, no surprises. Gives you details of everything else which is available as well at the hotel, such as restaurant availability, breakfast, and things which you might need to know. There's a map which will tell you exactly where you'll be going. So your hotel will be staying at here, then you will drive down to parking in the morning and get a parking ride to the terminal, depending on which one you are at. And it'll also be able to show you some photos of the hotel and the rooms, and apparently a dude as well, just so what you can expect overall for your trip. So to sort by distance, these will be obviously on the hotel grounds. For Terminal 2 is a good option for us. But really, if you want to be really close, if it is available, it's not showing up as available at the minute for these options. Well, Hilton, for example, it says is the closest. So we'll have a look at that one. It's 1 double bed, 1 double sofa. And this is a drop and go express booking with the cheapest option, which you can have a look at here. So you'll park, so get to the airport with a drop and go P10, where your vehicle will stay, where you'll just go after your night's stay. And then of course walk to the terminal, 12 to 15 minutes away. So again, you look on the map, will show you exactly the hotel. The hotel is there. Your parking is there, and then you could either get a shuttle back or you could just walk across there. It's not like, it looks a bit far, but it really isn't. From the Renaissance, it's about 10 minutes, so probably about 15-20 minute walk there as well if you wish. I say there is transfers if you shall wish as well. Everything is detailed on the website for the hotels which are available. So as I said, starting off at £178, and for this at Manchester you can go all the way up to £328 for the Hilton, which you can then, the most expensive one, which is Terminal 2 meet and greet, being £378 for Manchester. So lots of different options available for this one for all types of budgets. So now let's have a look at Heathrow. So similar to last time, we'll go on here and then we'll go down to the options, select Heathrow, hotel and parking. Make sure you select obviously the amount of people that you have, and if you want additional rooms or if you're happy with just one. And we shall continue. Your check-in date for the hotel, so the night before your flight, so for the 20th as we look to fly on the 21st for options. Then you will type in your flight, which is of course to Orlando, and select which one you'll be using. We'll just go for the early one at 8 o'clock. And when you'll pick up your car, which even though you'll be returning on the Friday, you'll be picking up on the Saturday as the flights are at night, as you can see here. I'll select the later one and pick up 9 o'clock. You do get about a 3-hour window, as we've said on the previous, to pick this up should any issues occur. And double check, and we shall see what's available at Heathrow. So again, we shall start with cheapest. So the cheapest option is going to be the Premier Inn bath rows. So we'll have a quick look at that one. One double bed and one double sofa. So you've got a standard room with meet and greet is the cheapest option. So we'll have a look at that one. Again, details of your stay, which of course is at the Premier Inn, and how you'll get to the airport. This one is a bit of a strange one. You've got to ring up the company at least 2 days in advance in order to organise where you'll be dropping off the car, which terminal it is, and then they will meet you there and then park your car for you. As I say, you drive to a short stay car park depending on what terminal you're at, and then they will sort it from there. The Wi-Fi gives, say, details of all the hotel, your bar, restaurant, your breakfast, and any other additional options that you might be interested in, such as that this one is in the ULEZ zone, and a map. So Premier Inn is here, and then you'll just go down there, down there to your parking. And then again, some photos of the hotel, so you know what to expect from the room. Premier Inn's pretty much standard. It's only one you've stayed in most. And again, it's a dedicated section that tells you about your transfer options, and this one has a overnight parking fee of 20 quid. So again, all these can be upgraded depending on which level of parking you want. So obviously the closer to the airport you want to park after your night stay, the more expensive it will get. You've got plenty of options here. You've got some which are also outside the ULEZ zone, as you will get a charge for that when driving in it. So that's an option if that's something which worries yourself. So your closest options are usually the most expensive, and especially at the London hotels. So it's Sofitel, which is literally next to the hotel building. You can just have a look at this one. That's how close it is to Terminal 5. So that's a very good option, but as you can see, it is very, very expensive if you want to go close to the airport. So for Heathrow, to summarise, we've got packages starting at £240.80 and going all the way up to Sofitel, which starts at £594 and it goes up to £646 for Heathrow. And finally, let's go over Gatwick. So once again, going through all the previous steps that we've been. This one will be a bit quicker. Gatwick Hotel. Here, if you do wish to have a second room, you can, but we're just going for one room to save cost. So for us, again, you just want to select the night before your departure date, so the 20th for us. And then search your flight, which one would be Orlando, if I can spell. It would be the 10:45 even. You fly on the 21st, as I said before, you will get your car the next day after your return flight, as they are all overnight, depending on who you're flying with. Again, same window, about a 3-hour window. Double check everything's okay. And let's see what we've got available at Gatwick. So we start by the cheapest again. Your cheapest is going to be the Europa Gatwick Hotel. So we'll have a quick look at nosy at that one. Of course, you've got a huge range of different options. A lot of different Premier Inns, depending on where you would like to stay, how close you want to be to the hotel. Oh, let's just go to the main info and then we'll have a look at the map. So this is one double bed and bunk beds for this one. So again, it gives you details of the hotel and what is included. such as your grab and go food and gym area for this one. Getting to the terminal, this is a bit of a faff for this one, as there is no transport, so you have to get a taxi, depending on obviously how many of you are there, or depending on how much it will cost. You will leave your car at the hotel for this package. A lot of these do include this, so you don't have to move your car. You can just go straight to the airport hotel, leave your car there, and that is it. You don't have to worry about moving it again. Of course, depending on if you want to do that, if people are doing that, then obviously that's up to you. There's one option, different room options, also an exclusive upgrade offer there for using the site. All your different room options, the restaurant on site, the bar, breakfast, and things to do in the local area as well. A four quid for a swim, which is not too bad in the leisure centre. This hotel in particular we're looking at is completely cash as well. So if we look on the map, the hotel is right down here, so you'll have to then get a taxi all the way back up to the terminal in the morning, depending of course which you are using. And gives you again some examples of the hotel. Taking a quick look through there, standard rooms, triple rooms, the bunk bed rooms, all that sort of jazz. And I guess again, it gives you your details of getting to and from the airport, which in this case is a taxi. You can also look at reviews as well, for any of these, see how fellow travellers rated it as well. So that is your cheapest option if you want to get right next to the airport. You'll be of course the Hilton at 571 quid. You'll see on the map, it's literally part there into the hotel, 2-minute walk to the south departures. Once you stay in the north thing, I have to look at a different option for that one. So overview of Gatwick. If you want to go on the nice and budget, £130.50 if you don't mind getting a taxi. And if you go right to the top end, you can stay at the Hilton, which is directly connected to the terminal, which is £571. So next, let's have a quick look over lounges. So in case you don't know, lounges is essentially a premium option to just sitting in the hub area or the departures lounge. So you can go somewhere, be a little bit more quiet, and usually includes free food and drinks as well. So essentially somewhere to relax if you don't want. And of course a definite seat as well. So starting off with Manchester, you have a few options here. We have, what starts off, Escape Lounge Terminal 2. This is located on level 4 of the departure lounge. You are allowed to enter the lounge 3 hours before your flight, departure time that is. Its facilities include hot and cold breakfast options, hot food options throughout the day, such as curries, casseroles and salads. Obviously that's cold, you know what I mean. Yeah, there's also a selection of alcohol, soft drinks, tea and coffee magazines and newspapers available, all of which are free. TV and Wi-Fi is also available. As I said, all of that is included in admission. Dress code is smart casual, so there'll be no sports gear, offensive clothing, fancy dress or excessive skin exposure. And this one will cost you £162.76 for 4 of you. Another option is Aspire Lounge Terminal 2, which is located on level 2, just after security on the way to Seagate. This is has a time allowance of 3 hours before your flight. And it has, a lot of these are very similar options that does vary slightly. It has hot and cold breakfast options and hot food throughout the day, which includes a deli counter. And they also have a sweet treats area alongside alcohol, soft drinks, tea and coffee, newspapers and magazines, again all included. And a selection of TVs and Wi-Fi as well. And this lounge does also offer runway views if that is your thing. This one is smart casual for dress code, which means no sports gear, offensive clothing, fancy dress or exposed skin. And it'll cost you £172.96. And for your more premium option, which is Executive by Escape Lounge, this is located again on level 4, and you're allowed to enter 2.5 hours before your flight departure. This has a huge range of facilities such as pastries, a deli station, made-to-order meals from a menu, of course. You can't just ask for anything. Alcohol, soft drinks, newspapers and magazines, again, all included. And of course, Wi-Fi as well. There are runway views of from the top level, as well as USB and power outlets. And for this one, there is no televisions in the whole area. If I've just said the tellies, then that was obviously a mistake. But there is no TVs in the whole area, so more of a, should we say, upper, more relaxing area instead of just like the kids watching telly around. And in this one, they do give flight announcements verbally instead of them just being on a screen. For this one, it is again smart casual. As we said before, no sports gear, offensive clothing, fancy dress or excessive skin. And it'll cost you £229.36. And moving on to Gatwick now, in North Terminal, you have number 1 lounge, which is at the very far end of the... There'll be a map on screen in case it isn't obvious already. A far end of departures, just left out of duty free on the way to gates 45 through 55 and 101 to 113. You are allowed to enter 3 hours before your flight, and it offers hot and cold breakfast options, as well as a sweet treats area, alcohol, soft drinks, tea, coffee, magazines and newspapers, all free. There's also TVs in the area and Wi-Fi as well, and they also do offer kids entertainment packages as well. Packs, that is, like colouring and all that sort of stuff. Their dress code, like the others, is smart casual, no sports gear, offensive clothing, fancy dress or excessive skin, and this will cost £169. Another option is My Lounge, which is located at the far end of departures, left out of duty free at the same gates as the last one, 45 to 55 and 101 to 113. The time allowance is 3 hours before. And the facilities here are hot and cold breakfasts, hot food options throughout the day such as curries, soups and pasta. They also have salads as well. They have alcohol, soft drinks, tea, coffee, magazines and newspapers available, all included with the price. TVs and Wi-Fi is available, and kids entertainment packages is also available. Again, this is a smart casual dress code. I think we've gone over enough what that is. And a cost of £153. And your final option in North is Plaza Premium Lounge, which is at the far end of departures, left out duty free, same place as the others. They're all in one area, these lounges in Gatwick North. The allowance is 3 hours before your flight, and it has hot food options throughout the day, which are focused around European and Asian dishes. Alcohol, soft drinks, tea, coffee, magazines, newspapers are available. TVs and Wi-Fi, and again everything is included, and there are kid packs available. And again, smart casual dress code, and this one will set you back £162.80. So moving on to Gatwick South, the first one is number 1 lounge, which is the upper level of departures, opposite entrance of security. You're allowed to enter 3 hours before, and it has hot and cold, combine them together, hot and cold breakfast options, hot food options throughout the day such as curries, Chinese dishes, chili and soup. They also have salads available. Alcohol, soft drinks, tea and coffee, magazines, newspapers are all available as well, and in course all included. TVs and Wi-Fi is available, and they also offer kids entertainment packages. This is a smart casual dress code, same as the previous one, but in addition, there is no beachwear allowed, and there are no stag and hen parties allowed. The cost is £163. My Lounge is on the upper level of departures, directly to the right of the entrance from security. 3 hours before again, you're allowed to enter, and the facilities include hot and cold breakfast options, hot food throughout the day, such as curries and pasta. They also have an all-day pancake station, bonus. Alcohol, soft drinks, tea, coffee, magazines, newspapers all included. They also have TVs and Wi-Fi available, and there's also an outside terrace with runway views, should you be able to use it if it isn't raining. This is a smart casual again with similar rules to the previous one. No sports gear, offensive clothing, fancy dress, excessive skin, no beachwear, and no stag and hens. And this will be £135. A final option for this one is Club Aspire, which is located on the upper level of departures, directly to the right of the entrance from security. You can enter 3 hours before, and it does come with hot and cold breakfast options. Hot food available throughout the day, such as soups, casseroles, and sandwiches, hot and cold. There's alcohol, soft drinks, tea, coffee, magazines, and newspapers available, all included. TVs and Wi-Fi that are available. There's also a business centre in this one in case you want to get anything done. And there are also verbal flight announcements and not just on a screen. This one is a smart casual dress code as the others and will cost you £139. So moving on to Heathrow, we've got some at 2 different terminals again here, similar to Gatwick, with our flight options that we've looked at in previous videos. So starting off with Terminal 3, you'll have My Lounge, which is located on level 1 next to Gate 9. You may enter 3 hours before your flight, and it has hot and cold breakfast options, an all-day pancake station, hot food available throughout the day, such as burrito bowls. It has a sweet treat station, alcohol, soft drink, tea, coffee, magazines, newspapers, all included as usual. They have TVs and Wi-Fi available, and for this one they also have a small games area with an arcade table and a PlayStation. That is usually a PS4. Because they're a bit out of date. The dress code is once again smart casual, and again no stag or hen parties. and it will cost you 147 quid. Next up for Terminal 3, you have the number 1 lounge, which is located on level 1 next to the Virgin Atlantic Lounge on your ways to gate 13 through 22. You may enter 3 hours before your departure, and it has hot and cold food options available, for breakfast that is, and hot food available throughout the day such as soups, curries and stews. It also has alcohol, soft drinks, tea, coffee, magazines, newspapers, all included with the price. There are also TVs available alongside Wi-Fi, and there was also a mini cinema room showing family-friendly films. This again has a dress code of smart casual, no stag or hen parties. Excuse me, and will cost you 157 quid. And for Terminal 5, you have Club Aspire, which is on level 2 next to gate A16. You're allowed to enter 3 hours before, and it has hot and cold food options, hot food throughout the day such as soups and casseroles, alcohol, soft drinks, tea, coffee, magazines, newspapers, all available, included with the price. TV is available alongside Wi-Fi, but there are no lounge toilets in this one, so you've got to leave the lounge and go slightly down the hallway to get to a loo, which is a bit of a pain in the bum considering how much you're paying. Again, smart casual dress code, and this one will cost you 156 quid. And final option for Heathrow and lounges that we're looking at today, Plaza Premium, which locates on level 2 next to gate A7. The allowance is 3 hours before your flight, and it has hot and cold food options for breakfast and hot food options throughout the day. They also offer alcohol, soft drinks, tea, coffee, magazines, newspapers, all included of course. TVs are available and Wi-Fi as well. They have flight information screens but do not do verbal announcements, and this is the only one out of all these which has a shower which you can rent for £20. Obviously as long as you need. This is again a casual dress code, so it is just no sports gear, offensive clothing, fancy dress or exposed skin, same as the others, and no stag or hen parties. And this will set you back £166.50. So for the last bit of this section, let's have a quick look over Airport Fast Track. Now this is just to essentially get you through security clearance quicker. Ideal mainly for when it is busy or at peak times, such as obviously during summer and in Christmas time. It's obviously designed to save you time at the airport, so you can maybe arrive that little bit later, or if you just want to get through and be, in there, then yeah, you can do that as well. If you just want to be get through the airport quicker. However, there is small limitations to this. If you are someone with severe mobility issues, or if you have a very large pushchair, you can't use fast track. You'll have to go through either the assisted lane or the regular lane. I think that's slightly a bit bad, but it's just the rules that I found on almost all of these. And of course, it is obviously best to be used during peak times, such as summer and Christmas, to ensure you get through the airport a little bit quicker, and obviously just give yourself a bit of peace of mind as well. So, if you wanted to do this at Manchester, if you were to book directly through Manchester Airport, it will cost you £29.96, again, family of 4. And if you were to book this on Holiday Extras, it'd be £31.96. So for this one, definitely go direct. For Heathrow, it'd be £51.96 if you would book direct. You cannot book this anywhere else, well, on Holiday Extras anyway. And for Gatwick, if you were to book directly with Gatwick, it'd be 60 quid. But if you book through Holiday Extras, it's 24. So almost 50% off if you go with Holiday Extras for this one. So next up, let's have a look at extra activities. So this is stuff that you can do outside of the theme parks, so outside of Disney, Universal and SeaWorld. Maybe things to do on your slower days or chill out days that you're not going to walk 15 miles around a theme park. So first we're going to have a look at NASA. In case you don't know, it's located on Space Commerce Way on Merritt Island, approximately 1 hour from central Orlando. Things to do and see here, because you don't know, it's the visitor centre for the United States space program. There's the US Astronaut Hall of Fame, a rocket garden, astronaut training experiences, Space Shuttle Atlantis, with being able to see the actual shuttle, which is incredible. A 2-hour-long bus tour of the NASA facilities, such as the Vehicle Assembly Building, Caller Transporter, SpaceX Apollo Launch Control Experience. So you go to a room that looks like the actual launch control from the Apollo missions, and you get a simulation. It's really cool. And at the Saturn V Centre. So the cost of this, if you were to book directly, it was $324.85 or £242.92. Attraction tickets was $225. Orlando attraction tickets don't offer NASA tickets, and for Florida tickets was $202. So for this one, if you want to get it the best possible price, it gets to go to Florida-Tix. Strongly recommend this one. I've been here many times and it is an absolute superb. We usually go before we fly, but you could 100% make this a full day if you want to. It's brilliant. Definitely recommend. Our next up is Gatorland, which is located at 14501 South Orange Blossom Trail. And this is essentially a very large zoo focused around, surprisingly, gators. So here you'll be able to see a huge range of animals such as alligators, crocodiles, birds, big cats, capybaras, snakes, critters and tortoises. There are also a lot of experiences that you can do, such as zip lining over the gator enclosures, rock climbing, off-road monster trucking, and you can also do a trainer for a day experience as well. So if you're into crocodiles and that sort of thing, definitely a place for you. So if you were to book direct, it would cost you $126, or about 94 quid. Again, these are for a family of 4. Attraction tickets is £100. Orlando attraction tickets is $95, and Florida-Tix is $93. So for this one, you might as well go direct, because you obviously it's the same as the others or cheaper. If you want to do the zip line, it is $32 per person extra, or 24 quid each. And if you want to do the trainer for the day, which does include admission, it's $129.99 plus tax per person, or £97.20 per person. But International Drive, there's a lot to do on International Drive. And in case you don't know what it is, it's right next to Interstate 4, just down from Universal. I say there's a huge amount of stuff in there. You could film more than one day going down International Drive. You've got things like mini golf, there's water park, Coco Key, for example. There's a Titanic exhibition, along with a huge range of other museums. There's a very large amount of restaurants. You've got escape rooms, you've got Ripley's Believe It or Not, the Orlando Starflyer, Madame Tussauds, Sea Life, Orlando Eye, Wonderworks, and also indoor skydiving. So lots of different places you can do. There is the iDrive trolley which goes up and down the whole thing, so the transport is also very good. For cost wise, if you fancy a bit of mini golf, it could be $49 for one of the ones I found, about 37 quid for. The Orlando Eye, Sea Life Orlando and Madame Tussauds are all £89, so that's each attraction is £89. You can do some combo ones where you get all the Merlin ones together and some different ones as well. Just look in and see which is the best option for yourself. Wonderworks will cost you, 115 quid. In case you don't know what Wonderworks is, it's basically like a science museum where you go around and do all sorts of stuff like experience an earthquake, hurricane, all that sort of jazz. Ripley's Believe It or Not, which shows you the strange and wonderful things of the world, that is $113 or 84 quid. Coco Key Water Park is $76.64 for a day pass, or £57. And the escape room, this I thought was quite expensive, $157 or £140. I don't know the escape room, so that might be cheap. So you've got lots of options there on International Drive. It'll last you more than one day if you wished. So another option will be Funspot America, which is located at 5700 Funspot Way. This is a theme park, so alternative to the other ones. It's a much smaller, of course, than Disney or Universal. It has signature rides such as the Freedom Flight and White Lightning, which are both large roller coasters, alongside splash pads, a huge variety of flat rides, a sky coaster, and of course, because you're in Florida, the Gators. So the only place you can book this is direct on the website. It'll cost you £190.98 should that take your fancy. You could probably do Funspot along with, say, a few attractions on International Drive if you want to do, because it's probably about a half a day, depending. Next up, we have Legoland. This is located at One Legoland Way in Winter Haven. This is surprisingly a large Lego-based theme park, of course, ran by Merlin Attractions, who run Hot Towers in the UK. A large theme park with a variety of rides, such as roller coasters, driving experiences, wave racer, large garden area, and of course what they are famous for, which is Miniland USA. They also have a flying theatre and a sea life centre in the park. The cost for this one would be £206.40 if you were to book direct, or £188 on attraction tickets. Orlando attraction tickets and Florida tickets do not offer tickets to this park. If you want fast track, it will cost you anywhere from £137.60, again it's from a 4, to £454.64, depending on how many fast track rides you want. But if you do want to get on their latest attraction as a recording, which is the Galactic Coaster, you have to get the Platinum Fast Pass, which will run you for a family for 454 quid. So now let's have a look at parking at the theme parks. So these are prices all on summer, and they've been averaged. If they vary by a couple of dollars, we've got the middle figures. This is average what you can expect to pay per day for parking at the theme parks. So at Disney, it will cost you $35 a day for standard parking. So if you want to be like 70 miles from the entrance, you'll be able to get a tram, of course, to the entrance from your parking. It'll cost you $35 a day, or 26 quid. If you want to be right at the front, which Magic Kingdom gets you right at the Transportation Ticket Centre. So essentially the preferred lots are the two at the closest, and then the standard ones are the ones that are further away. Preferred parking will cost you 55 quid on the day, about £41. And if you are driving an oversized vehicle, which is essentially a trailer, which of course if you come from the UK you won't have, or a bus, it'd be $40 or 30 quid for a day. Parking at all Disney theme parks is free if you're staying on site. And I will strongly recommend you use the car locator portion of the Disney Experience app, because the last thing you want to do is go for a whole day at a Disney theme park and then forget where you parked, because you will never find it. I think if you go to gas services and say you can't find your car and tell them what make and model it is, they will go out and try and find it, but don't expect it to be quick. Also, parking is free at Water Park, as is Disney Springs. And if you are a guest travelling with a disability, you will have to pay a standard parking charge, and then you will go to the disabled parking spaces if there is any, which are again right next to the gate. If there isn't any, you'll be able to park in preferred. You will need proof of disability to be able to access the service. For the UK, it will be your blue badge. So for Universal, you have standard parking, which is $35 a day or £26. But if you ring up and pre-book more than 24 hours in advance, you get a $3 discount, which will make it £24. You can only do that if you're in the US. Do not try that if you're abroad, because you will regret it, because you will get slammed by charges by your phone company. Prime parking, which is essentially Universal's version of preferred, is $55 or 41 quid. And if you upgrade to Prime Parking and you are pre-booked, it will cost you $19 or £14. So if you pre-book on the day and then decide to upgrade, it will save you about 3 quid. So yeah, well worth it. If you have an oversized vehicle, it will cost you $45 or £33.50. Not as applicable for us, but you never know. There is valet parking as well, should you wish to do that, and it is $78 or 58 quid. The parking is free for resort guests at the hotel, but it does not transfer to your from your hotel to the park. So do not move your car if you're staying on site at Universal, as you'll pay twice. Parking, however, is free if you arrive after 6 PM, only on non-Halloween horror nights. You have to go in for free and either go to the parks, or if you're going to City Walk, for example. You also, if you book a hire car via Avis and Budget, you are able to get free Prime parking upgrades if you book with Avis and Budget, but you will still have to pay the standard fee, of course. For guests with disabilities, you will have to pay the standard parking fee, and you'll park on the disabled spots in the lot, which is essentially a theme park level of the garage. Again, you require proof of disability, that being a blue badge. And for SeaWorld, your standard parking will be $37, or about £27.50. Preferred parking is $47 or 35 quid. VIP parking, which is essentially preferred but here at the front. So in other words, SeaWorld, you've got standard right at the back, preferred in the middle, and VIP at the front. So they can, swindle you about a bit more money. $62 or 46 quid. Oversized vehicle, again, not 100% applicable, but just in case. $42 or £31. And for each of these prices, if you are going at Christmas, you can add at least $10 to $15 on all of those, as they do heavily increase at Christmas, these lot. And again, if you're a guest with a disability, you have to pay a standard parking fee, and you'll park in the disabled spots, which are literally right next to the park entrance. And again, in order to access this, you will require a UK blue badge. And next up, and a very important part of any holiday, is food. Now this can vary hugely depending on where you stay in Orlando, what you decide to stay in, and if you cook your own meals or if you eat out literally every single day at the parks or outside of the parks. So trying to get some rough numbers, if you're eating lunch and dinner at the parks every day, you'll want at least $15 a day per person for lunch and $40 a day per person for dinner. That will get you at least a main and a drink at each one. Of course, if you want a starter and a dessert, then of course you'll have to adjust for that. So this should cover a quick service lunch and a sit-down evening meal at most standard Disney restaurants. If you go towards the higher end ones, then you will add at least $15 per person for your meal. Sit-down restaurants, if you have them in the park, you will want to add at least another $10 per person to account for this, as some of them have similar, but some of those can go really above and beyond. So you want to add at least $10 per person to account for this. For the family of 4, I would recommend a minimum food allowance of £2,226, which accounts for the $15 a day per person for lunch and the $40 a day for dinner. Of course, if you, for example, you want to mix in a few higher end meals and sit down meals as well. As an example, if you had 3 higher end meals in the evening and 6 sit down meals at the parks, you would add around 315 quid onto your food budget. Now, of course, a great way to save a lot of money on your food is while you're in a villa, or if you have an apartment or hotel room which has a kitchenette, where you're able to make or cook meals at your accommodation. The best thing to do for this is to do a food shop either the first day or the first night that you arrive, depending on, of course, when your flight is. Usually from Walmart, is usually because there's tons of them everywhere in Disney. There is other options like Publix and Target, but I think the Walmart is the cheapest overall. Target is more for like clothes and stuff as well. So if you want to do a full shop for at least a week, it will cost you anywhere between $150 to $300. Prices are insane in America at the minute, so, well, they always are. So depending on when you view this video, the prices may have gone up a little bit, might have gone down, you never know. Miracles happen. But you want to budget about 112 to 224 quid for your food. And this will, of course, vary again vastly depending on if you want snacks, if you want anything for breakfast, if you get in, how many dinners you get, and how many lunch stuff you get. Because you can take your own food in to Universal and Disney as well. So make sure you keep that in mind. And definitely, of course, recommend getting yourself some drinks, because you do not want to end up having to buy everything at the hotel, because it will cost you 20,000 times more than if you got it from a supermarket. So yes, definitely recommend go and get yourself some snacks at least, so you can take them to the park, so you haven't got to worry too much about your food budget if that is a concern of yours. And next up is spending money. Of course, this is extremely subjective depending on your own personal circumstances and the budget that you wish to take, and exactly what you're looking to get while you're there, and of course how much merch you want to get, and of course everything else that you might want to get. For me, I don't get merch at all, apart from maybe the odd t-shirt or two, so I'm really easy. For kids or Disney adults, if you know what you know, it can get ridiculous depending on if you know how to say no or have any self-control. There's a huge variety of merch, such as clothes, Mickey ears, the things that go on your head, popcorn buckets, which a lot of people I know collect. You've got toys, you've got ride resins, all sorts of good shenanigans. Anything you can think of, Disney and Universal probably have it somewhere. And of course, one of the major bits of merch that Disney do in particular are pins. Universal do a few as well, but they're not as vast of a system as Disney do. Because Disney have got the pin trading, they've got events for everything you can think of. They've got shops specifically for pins as well. So they're also, in my opinion, a great souvenir and available for almost every attraction in the park, and that's every park. So it's just some little inexpensive thing. You can come back and make a little collage of all the different pins and stuff you've got. Again, if you're buying loads of pins or buying premium pins, which are bigger ones, they've got springs and all sorts of shenanigans that go on and fold out, it can get very expensive if you're not getting the basic ones. So conservatively, I would budget anywhere between $50 to $100 a day for merch. Of course, depending on what you want and anything that you might fancy, and of course how much self-control you have. So at least 37 to 74 quid a day, more so for kids. Obviously, if you're an adult and not bothered, then there you go. So if you look at a couple of examples of the merch prices, to give you an idea, these are all in dollars. So for Disney, here we go. Magnets and keychains can range between $10 to $20. Pins can range from $10 to $25. Mugs or cups can range from $15 to $25. Mickey ears anywhere from $30 to $40. T-shirts usually range between $30 to $40. Character plushes are $30 to $50 depending on how big they are. Spirit jerseys and hoodies anywhere between $60 to $90. Bubble wands and toys in general cost between $40 to $60. And the single most expensive merch item that you can buy at Disney, if you've not seen this, I'll put a picture on screen now, is a Disney Schwarzkopf Crystal Castle, which costs $250,000. I don't know who's buying this, but someone is. There is also a Crystal Epcot Ball, which is $80,000, and while we were there, it was numbered 4. So someone has actually bought. Well, 3 people have brought one. I don't know who that is, but if you are, you are mental and have no sense of money. So moving on to Universal, they're a little bit better. Lanyards and keychains are $9 to $15. Your pins are $9 to $14. So they have a lot smaller range of pins than Disney do. Mugs are around $21. Your t-shirts are around $30. Hogwarts scarves, which are big ones because there's a lot of Harry Potter shiz at Universal, as you can imagine. Scarves are around $40. They've got all this different sorts of wall prints, and some are hand painted as well, $30 to $50. If you want to do Ollivanders, where you get a wand, it's $63. A Lounge 5 backpacks, which of course can be themed from anything from Disney for Jack Skellington, Universal, SpongeBob, around $88. If you want a Hogwarts robe, is $140. And ride resins are available for around $200 for a small selection of rides. Universal's most expensive items are signed movie movie merch and props. So we combine the two there, as you can see. They can range anywhere upwards of $3,000, depending on obviously what it is and who signed it. So for SeaWorld, they have a lot less options than the other two do. But for magnets, mugs, keychains, and pins, it'd be about $10 to $20. For your apparel, such as shirts, hoodies, and jackets, $25 to $60. Plush toys, $20 to $70, again depending on how big they are. And collectibles such as arts resins and shark teeth, which is a big one, anywhere from $50 up. The most expensive item that SeaWorld sell are Guy Harvey original arts and signed marine art pictures by him as well, and they can range upwards of $1,000. This is going to be a very short segment, but I thought I would briefly touch on insurance. So for this one, I would obviously do not go without it, because you will regret it even if you stub your toe in America and don't have insurance. So use a comparison website such as Compare the Market to see which best deals. Choose a well-known company and a reliable company as well. Just for the sake of anything going tits up, but don't book it with the cheap one that's like 20 quid for a family of 4 for 2 weeks. It's got good cover, but you've never heard of it. Use a company that you've heard and know are reliable, as a heads up, because US medical is ridiculous. As I said, if you stub your toe, it'll probably end up costing you $1,000. If you have to go to hospital, God up, you'll have to sell your house, and that is not a joke. So make sure you also declare absolutely everything, even if it's something that's minimal and stupid, such as if you've got, say, even eczema, a skin condition like that, declare that. Asthma, declare stuff like that. Anything that's ever gone wrong with you, or you clinically been diagnosed with it and still have going on, make sure you declare, because if they don't and you have an accident and they find out you have it, they can void your insurance and you are up the swanny. So prices, depending on what you want. If you have absolutely nothing wrong with you and none of your family members do, which if you do, then well done, because that's rare, can range anywhere from £130 if you want a slightly dodgy company. That's obviously a joke. Or £1,734, which gets you, which is insane. Don't pay that. So I chose one which I know myself and have used in the past as an example, which is Admiral, which for the family of 4 what we're discussing is £208.72. This gives you £10 million of medical insurance per person. It gives you £1,000 cover for luggage. So if you lose your luggage, you can get up to £1,000. But for a single item, up to £200 in the luggage. It gets you back £1,500 per person if your holiday is cancelled. It will get you £1,500 per person for gadget cover, such as your iPad, phone, or any laptop, that sort of stuff. And it also gets you £20,000 in legal cover in case you end up getting sued, which in America isn't unlikely. Next up, let's quickly go over ESTAs. Now, essentially, in case you don't know what it is, if you haven't been to America before, it's the UK-USA Visa Waiver Program. So it allows UK residents to get access to the USA without the need for a full visa application. Now, as soon as you have booked your holiday, not paid it off, as soon as you have booked it and know where you're staying as it, you will need a USA address to get this. You don't technically do, because you can put your address as unknown, but I would not recommend that, as that gives them a reason to decline your application. As soon as you've got it all booked, before you pay any good chunks of money, you should go and get this sorted out on the official website only. Do not use a third-party website, as they will rip you off. Essentially, if it doesn't cost £32 per person, you've been ripped off. So make sure you only go to the official ESTA website. As I say, book this after you book your accommodation, but before you booked anything else. So the required information in order to complete your ESTA will be your passport. So you'll need the e-passport number, the issue country, date of issue and the date of expiry. You have to have at least 6 months left on your passport when returning to be able to use it to go to America. You of course need your basic information, which is full name, date of birth, gender and appearance name. I'm not sure with what Mr. Trump does now. It might have to be, say if you trans, for example, it might have to be your biological gender, or Mr. Trump will go nuts on you. But yeah, just double check that obviously when filling it out. Your contact information, such as address, phone number and email. Make sure they're all nice and up to date. Your employment information, it will need your current or last employer's name, address and phone number, in case they need to check that you've not been up to any shenanigans. Every time we've been to America, that has never been needed, but they need it just background check wise. You have to have a US point of contact, so this is where you're staying on your holiday, such as the hotel that you're staying at or the villa. You will also need a phone number, so in other words, there's the general help desk phone number for this, or the company who you're renting the villa off from as well. You can, as I said, you can put unknown to this, but if you do this, it leads you over to getting rejected, as they don't know where you're going. So that is something to think about. They will also do a background check on you and will require background information, such as your health background and history. They will also need to know any criminal record that you have. And any previous holidays that you have had, and any visa or ESTA refusals you have had in the past to other countries. For previous holidays, if you've been to the Middle East and it's in your passport, you are going to get questioned about it. You should be fine unless it's to somewhere like Iraq or Iran, and you might not. But for example, we've been to the UAE before, just before going to America, and it took them, they were asking questions for like 10 to 15 minutes of why we were there. So just something to think about. Also, if you have any criminal history of a violent offence, you will be denied an ESTA, almost certainly. So make sure you keep that in mind as well. And let's move on to the last portion of this video, which is about clothes and accessories. And to finish up, we'll quickly go over clothes and accessories. So of course, if you're going in summer, which is what most of these videos have been about, you'll want thin and comfortable clothing. As I say, especially if you're going in summer. Avoid clothes that are very, very dark or have those, very cheap like Temu prints on them, because my God, they will make you sweat. Dark shirts are okay if they're thin, but obviously you want lighter clothing if you can, sort of like this or white and stuff like that. If you're going to a park with water rides, make sure that you take quick drying clothes and obviously avoid denim, because they'll be ruined if you don't. And obviously your shoes as well, such as if you're going on a water ride, like sandals or swapping to something like Crocs will be a great thing to do as well. Otherwise you'll be walking around in soggy shoes. Swimwear clothing with explicit or, shall we say, dodgy looking stuff on it, or excessive skin on show will not be allowed in any of the theme parks. So if you try to rock up with a bikini or, I don't know, a shirt with a middle finger or something on it, you ain't going to get in. They'll make you probably turn it out inside out of the shirt. There used to be a trick where people used to go in offensive stuff on purpose to get free shirts. Disney caught on to that and don't do it anymore. They tell you to go away. So you can't do that anymore. If you're travelling in winter, don't forget to bring a jacket. I know that sounds really stupid being in Florida, but sometimes at night temperatures can fall quite low and it can be quite chilly. Especially later at night, you can get to single digits if you're not careful. So definitely don't forget to bring a jacket. And again, if you're traveling in summer, you'll want to bring everything that you need to stay cool as well, such as reusable water bottles. They're great because then you don't have to pay for the expensive drinks. Spray bottles, you know, the ones that have got a fan that you can spray. You can get ones that are like $6.99. You can get ones which are really expensive, so depending on your budget. Cooling towels as well, which go around the back of your neck. I don't know how effective they are. I've never used any of them. For me, the best thing that you can do is to walk through air-conditioned buildings. You'll very, very likely as well get sick on this holiday because of going in and out of cold all the time. It screws your body up. Every single time I've been to Florida, I've always got a cold in the first week. Maybe you get lucky and won't, but that's just what I've experienced. Yeah, as I say, for me, best thing to do is to soak up some AC before walking between the rides. Of course, the longest bit of sun you're going to get exposed to is walking to and from your car in the car parks. So you'll have to deal with that. Apart from that, stay in the AC and you should be all good. So I hope you enjoyed this section where we went over all the extra stuff that you might need to consider about your holiday, stuff that you might have forgot. And if you found it useful, don't forget to like the video. And of course, comment down below if there's anything that you missed or any advice that you would like to pass on to anyone else who might see this. And of course, follow us on socials, Instagram and Twitter down below. And if you want to go beyond, you can join Towns members to get yourself some fine merch in our store. And in our next and final section, we'll go over some example holidays of what you could expect to pay to travel to Orlando, Florida.